Good day, everyone. I'm Jolan Marpitaji, the leader of Group 1, and today we will be discussing about market segmentation to be reported by Raymond Banangan.
Well, market segmentation is the process of dividing a broad target market into subsets of consumers who have common needs, interests, or characteristics. It helps businesses tailor their product, services, and marketing strategies to better meet the specific needs of different customers groups. Well, for example, let's consider the market for smartphones. One way to segment this market is by demographic factors such as age. For example, a company might target teenagers with smartphones featuring trendy designs and social media integrations, while targeting the professionals with smartphones that prioritize productivity and security features also. Well, it's like you are taking advantage the specific needs and specific interest of specific group of people or kind of people that might want your product. Well, you will see the importance of market segmentation in some business or maybe in all of the business. Like for example in clothing business. Well, clothing retailers often segment for their market based on factors such as age, gender, income level, and lifestyle. For example, a fashion brand might target young adults with trendy and affordable clothing, while another brand may cater to influence the professional with high-end designers wear. Well, market segmentation is essential for all of the business because if you use the market segmentation, you will determine what is the product that you will sell, and also you will know what kind of people that will need the product or the service that you will offer. Well, if every people or every business will do this kind of process, maybe there will be 100% chance that you will have a successful business and also a very good future for your business. Well, that's all. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Natalie Mayem, pastoral reporter from Group 1. I'm here to discuss about four major segmentation variables. There are four major variables used in market segmentation. The first one is geographic, pertains to where the population is located. Here are a few geographic variables you can use to divide your audience. First one is location, includes factors such as zip code, city, state, and company. Culture, time zone, language, climate, and population density. Example, if your target market is located in an area where the dominant language is Spanish, you can send marketing postcard in Spanish to inform potential customers of your next big in-store event. Second one is demographic, refers to the general characteristics of the population. Demographic segmentation variables include age, gender, religion, income level, ethnicity, size of household, occupation, education, marital status. Example, say you run in a wine company and the majority of your audience is married. In this case, you may promote a special wine bundle for couples of these contacts. The third one is psychographic. There are variables that represent the psychological profile of consumers. Psychographic segmentation enables businesses to segment their contacts based on psychological traits that influence shopping. Variables include attitudes, values, social status, lifestyle, personality, interests, and opinions. Example, a brand that focuses and on plant-based food products may have an audience segments of vegans, vegetarians, and pescatarians. and meat eaters who wish to consume less meat. The last one is behavior graphic. It is a segmentation variables most indicate of purchase behavior. Variables of behavioral segmentation include purchasing behavior, stage in the customer journey, occasion or timing, usage behavior, benefits of customer loyalty, customer satisfaction, engagement. Example, you may send special deals and discounts code to those who sign up for your loyalty program but have not a made purchase yet. And I thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Lujel Kimakino and I'm one of the reporter of Group 1. And let's talk about target market. What is a target market? A target market is a group of people that have been identified as the most likely potential customers for a product because of their shared characteristics such as age, income, and lifestyle. Identifying the target market is a key part of the decision making process when a company designs, packages, and advertises its product. A target market is a group of customers with shared demographics who have been identified as the most likely buyers of a company's product or service. There are four target markets, and it is demographic and geographic, psychographic, and behavioral. Demographic refers to a group of people defined by characteristics such as age, gender, income level, educational level, and occupation. For example, a company that sells athletic shoes might target young adults, 18 to 34 years old, who are interested in fitness and athletics. Geographic naman refers to a group of people who live in particular location, such as country, region, city, or even a neighborhood. Example, an ice cream company segmenting a country by how hot different regions are and targeting those specific areas that are hottest and therefore more likely to buy ice cream. Psychographic naman, this refers to a group of people who share similar interests, values, lifestyle, and personalities. Example, a company that sells organic groceries might target people who are interested in healthy living and sustainability. Or adventure travel agency targets individual with a strong sense of exploration and love for outdoor activities. Behavioral naman is the process of grouping customers according to their behavior when making purchasing decisions. Behavioral naman is the process of grouping customers according to their behavior when making purchasing decisions. Market researchers observe aspects such as readiness to buy or the knowledge they have about the product, level of loyalty, interactions with your brand, or product's usage experience. For example, a company that sells luxury cars may target people who have history of buying high-end products and services. Why do we need to segment your target market? Segmentation helps marketer to be more efficient in terms of time, money, and other resources. Market segmentation allows their companies to learn about their customers. They gain a better understanding of customers' needs and wants and therefore can tailor campaigns to customer segments most likely to purchase product. And that's it. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. I'm Sheila May de Ocariza, and today we will talk about the elements of ideal target market. So, the first is substantial. So, sa substantials, the selected target market must be large enough in terms of quantity and or consumption capability. So, dito tinutukoy yung pag-select nila ng target market ng isang company to increase the market of a company. So, let's give an example. First example po natin dito is yung mga young professionals. let's say young professionals, which is age 20 years old to 25 years old na nakatira sa lugar na urban, which is sakop ng San Jose. Okay, so sa pagpili po nila ng ganitong target market, may mga potentials na sila yung may kailangan ng mga modern technologies or other services ng isang company. So, sa pagtutok po ng ganong target market, maaaring lumaki or mag-expand ito and makamit yung goals ng isang company. So, meron tayong 3 components of substantial. So, let's talk about the first one. So, letter A is to expand its target market to include other segment brackets previously not targeted. So, the company may decide to expand its ideal target market, not just target ages of young professionals, which is yung example natin kanina na 20 to 25 years old. So, to expand its ideal target market, the company may decide to target the young professionals, which is age 25 years old to 35 years old. So, if napag-decide yung company na i-target nila is young professionals din na 25 years old to 35 years old, so it can be successfully expands its target market. So, that's the first substantial, which is the expanded market to include the other segment brackets previously not targeted. So, let's proceed to the second one. Letter B. So, expand its target market by reducing the number of sub-variables. So, sa halimbawa natin na yung young professionals na ages to 25 to 35 years old. So, the company may decide to expand its by expansion of characteristics and criteria na kanilang sinusubaybayan. So, for example, ang kanilang yung lugar po nila is, ang unang target nila is yung mga young professionals na nakatira sa lugar na urban. Sa katulad ng nabanggit ko previously, ay mga young professionals na nakatira doon sa urban at may mataas na kita. Then, maaari po nila itong palawakin sa mga young professionals na nakatira sa suburban or mga young professionals na may mababang kita pero interesado pa rin sa kanilang products or services. Okay, sa ganitong pagpapalawak po ng isang kumpanya, maaari nilang makamit yung target sales nila or objective ng company. So, let's proceed to the third component of substantial, which is the combination of 2 options. So, dito naman, from the word combination of 2 options, So, dito naman, from the word of the company may use the combination of 2 options, tulad ng lugar at may mataas na kita to expand their target market. For example, ang target market ng company ay maaaring binuo ng mga young professionals na naninirahan sa urban na lugar at may mataas na kita. But they can also target the young professionals na may mataas na kita or may mga young professionals na naninirahan sa suburban na lugar ngunit may mas mababang kita or average na kita. In this way, magiging mas malawak ang kanilang saklaw ng target market by using these 2 or more categories or characteristics.
Okay, good afternoon. I'm James Carlo P. Ramos of Group 1, and I'm here to talk or discuss to you about the 3 aspects of ideal target market. So first, we have the financially capable. Financially capable, this means to must have the financial means to afford or purchase the product or services. So what this means about? This criterion ensures that the target market has the means to afford product or services being offered. It's crucial for organizations to target individuals or businesses with the financial capability to make at the desired price point. So by focusing on financially capable segments, companies can maximize revenue potentials and profitability. So they can invest resources in marketing efforts, knowing that the target audience has the purchasing power to support sales. So this means that the people or businesses can afford what you're selling ba. So, for example, if you're selling luxury cars or houses, you want or condos, ganun, and you want to target people who have enough money to buy what you're selling or service that you're offering to them. Okay. Next is we have the reachable. So, reachable is about must be within physical reach to permit product distribution. Okay. Reachable target market should be reachable both physically and through various marketing channels. Physical reach ensures that the distribution networks can effectively deliver products or services to customers. So, kumbaga, reachable mo yung mga customers mo physically, and yun, yung mga product mo, hindi sila impossible to reach those people na gusto or tumatangkilik ng product mo. So, and additionally, the target market should be reachable though through marketing activities such as advertising, promotions, and digital marketing. This means that the target audience is accessible through the channels where they are liking to engage with marketing messages. So yun na nga. So, accessible yung reachable and accessible sa mga tao yung product mo, and madali mo sila ma-reach out. Kaya siya nasama sa ideal target market. So, this means that you can actually get your product or services to them. For instance, is if you're selling snacks, like yung mga essential snacks, ganun, or foods, and you want to make sure stores nearby can sell them. For example, yung mga product mo is or gusto mo yung product mo is mabenta sa lugar nyo or sa ibang lugar. So, para makita nila yung for you to be able na masell mo yung mga product na yun, and makita ng mga tao yung ads mo online sa TV. So, yun. Reachable siya and accessible. And then, next one is we have the homogeneous. Ano may homogeneous? Homogeneity refers to the similarity in the way individuals or businesses within the target market respond to marketing stimuli. Ideally, the target market should have common characteristics, needs, preference, and behaviors. So, a homogeneous market simplifies marketing efforts, as strategies can be tailored to address the shared characteristic of the target audience. This increased the likelihood of marketing initiatives resonating and with the audience and achieving desired outcomes. So, sorry. You must react similarly to specific marketing stimuli raw, and then an ideal target market siya. So, ang example ko then is you're like in how they respond to your marketing. Ganun. Imagine you're selling video games. Okay. You want to target people who love gaming and not some who love sports. Kasi nga, ang sinasell mong product is video games. So, yung pinaka-target market mo, yung may interest dun sa product mo, syempre. So, hindi ka pwedeng magbenta ka, for example, you're selling paintings, tapos ang target mo, sporty. So, bawal yan. So, you need to sell those product na may interest din dun sa in-offer mo. Diba? So, imagine you're selling video games, you want to target people who love gaming and others who love cooking. Ayun, mga bawal yan. So, the way that when you advertise your new game, they are all excited about it. Yeah. So, an ideal target market is made up of people or businesses who can afford their selling or to easy reach low ads through ads, and where you sell and all have similar interests and needs to relate to your products and services. So in conclusion, yung tatlong yun is the three ideal market aspect na yan is an ideal target market encompasses individuals or businesses who are financially capable ba. So, first yung sa financially capable, which is dapat yung product na ino-offer mo sa tao, afford nila. It depends sa product na ino-offer mo sa kanila. Dapat zinc din sila. And then, next is the reachable. Yung reachable naman is accessible sa tao through ads and online or digital. And next is the homogeneous, which is yung interest, yung similarity ng nire-refer sa to similarity ng individuals or businesses, yung target market mo, tsaka dun sa sinisell mo. Yun. Dapat magkaroon sila ng connection. And yun lamang po, and maraming salamat.
Again, I'm Jolan Marpi Taji, the leader of Group 1. And ngayon naman is I will be discussing about the target market versus the consuming market. Madali lang naman intindihin yung target market and consuming market. Mas malaki yung consuming market kaysa sa target market. Kasi yung target market, nagpa-focus lang siya kung sino yung tina-target na market niya. Pero yung tina-target ng product niya para makapagkuha ng sales. While the consuming market, kahit hindi siya pasok sa target market nyo, ang kalagay dito, therefore, is a larger than its target market because it includes individuals that are not the target market of the product. Kahit wala siya sa range ng target market nyo, nakaka-gain kayo ng sales to your product and service. So, I therefore conclude that pagkakaiba ng target market at consuming market, mas malaki yung consuming market kaysa sa target market. Gets pa? Thank you.
Afternoon, I am Raymart Mungagaw, Group 1. So, my assigned topic is positioning. So, what is positioning? Positioning is the process of communicating the image of the brand to the mind of the customer. Ang positioning ay isang proseso nagpapahayag ng imahe ng isang brand sa isipan ng mamamili. Ang layunin nito ay gawing kapansin-pansin ang brand kumpara sa mga kakompetensya nito. So, bakit kailangan ng isang brand ng isang positioning? Ang unang dahilan ay ang pag-alala. Naghihirapan ng mga customer na tandaan ng mga brand na walang tiyak na imahe. Halimbawa, kung ikaw ay bibili ng toothpaste, ang unang brand na maiisip mo ay ang Colgate. Ito ay dahil sa tagumpay na positioning ng brand na ito sa iyong isipan. Yun lamang po.
Elements of a good brand positioning. There are 3 elements of a good brand positioning. The first one is unique. So, unique is a brand must select a position that is not currently occupied by another brand. Ibig sabihin, dapat piliin ng mga customer ang brand kaysa sa mga kompetisyon at kung ano yung nagpapahalaga sa mga ito. Naglalatag din ito ng mga solusyon sa mga problema ng customer at nag-a-address sa pangangailangan at sa mga kahangahangang paraan. The second one is beneficial. So, beneficial is the selected position must be perceived by its customer as a beneficial. Customer always ask when consider ang product or service, what is in for me? They are willing to patronize market offerings that they perceive as capable or of satisfying their needs and or what. Ibig sabihin, dapat nakikita ng mga customer ang mga kapakinabang at makakatulong sa kanilang mga pangangailangan at gusto. So, that's the beneficial. The third one is credible. So, what is credible? Credible is a brand position is selected. It must ensure that it performs and fulfills the promise of its position. Ibig sabihin, dapat mapatunayan at maaaring maniwala ang mga customers.
Good morning everyone, my name is Philip Emtiston and I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to speak today. I am a grade 11 student here at San Jose Litec Senior High School and I'm excited to share my topic, perceptual mapping. Perceptual mapping. What is perceptual mapping? Perceptual mapping is a visual techniques used in marketing upang maunawaan kung paano nakikita ng mga customer ang iba't ibang brand or product. Kumpara sa isa't isa ay tinatawag na perceptual mapping. It helps to identify market positioning at mga competitive advantages and gaps in the market. Sa madaling salita, ito ay nagpapakita ng mga pananaw ng mga customer upang ipakita ang mga connection sa pagitan ng iba't ibang company or products based on attributes important to consumers. For example, maaaring isipin ng isang negosyo na nagbebenta sila ng mga upmarket products of high quality, ngunit kung ang mga customer ay nakikita ang mga products as low quality, ito ang kanilang mga pananaw ang magpapahiwatig sa mga benta. Karaniwang ang posisyon ng product line or brand ng isang kumpanya ay pinapakita kumpara sa kanilang mga kalaban. That's all. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Richie Laridi and one of the reporter of Group 1. So let's talk about communicating brand position. Ano nga ba ang communicating brand position? Ang communicating brand position ng isang product or service ay dapat consistent at effectively sa naipaparing sa target market nito. Walang silbi ang pag-adapt ng brand position kung ito lang ay alam ng mga executives at employees ng kumpanya. Ang patuloy at consistent na pag-communicate ng brand positioning sa target market ay importanteng magawa ng impact sa market. For example, is yung mga products na para sa female market na nakabalot ng relative small containers para sa comfortable na pag-handling ng kamay ng mga babae. May soft shapes at level ng mga colors like pink, lavender, at kung ano pa. Para naman sa mga products at na intended for the upper income classes, mas mataas ang kanilang presyo. Some of the elements to be considered in communicating brand positioning are packaging, labeling, selling price, advertising, brand endorsers, at tagline. Yun lang po.
Hello everyone, this is Bianca Lorraine El Mahilum from Group 1 and today I will tackle the elements of communicating brand position. First, let's recall what is communicating brand position. Communicating brand position refers to the strategic process of conveying brand's unique value, identity, and personality to its target audience. It involves creating a clear and compelling message that differentiates the brand from the other competitors and resonates with the values and aspirations of the consumers. So basically, communicating Brand position is yung uniqueness ng product from the other products. So, dito po pakikita yung mga packaging ng isang brand from the other brands. Yun po yung magiging way kung paano ma-differentiate yung isang product sa iba pang brand na katulad niya ng product. So, we're finished to recall what is communicating brand position. So, let's move on to the main topic, which is the elements of the communicating brand position. What are the elements of communicating brand position? The elements of communicating brand position are packaging, labeling, selling price, advertising, brand endorser, and tagline. So, the first one is packaging. Ano nga ba yung packaging? Ano yung role niya sa communicating brand position? Ang packaging po is, siya po yung pinaka-crucial role sa communicating brand position. Because ito yung first point of contact between the product and a consumer. So, it needs to convey the right message effectively. Hindi yung tulad ng for example, ang product mo is napkin. Pero yung packaging mo is mukha siyang toothpaste, ganon. 'Di ba? Hindi nagma-match. So, kailangan specific, tsaka yung message ng packaging mo is malinaw. Dun pa lang sa pagkakita pa lang ng customer na alam na nila na ay, napkin to, ganon. So, napakahalaga po ng packaging. Syempre, hindi lang basta ganon yung packaging. So, kunwari, ang target market mo is mga bata. So, syempre mga bata, dapat colorful tsaka catchy yung packaging mo para makikita nila, ma-excite sila kung ano yun. Katulad sa mga candies, 'di ba? Pansin niyo yung mga kids product is puro mga colorful products, 'di ba? Ang next naman po natin ay ang labeling. Ano nga ba yung labeling? So, ang labeling ay ito yung nagbibigay ng message or nagpapabatid agad sa mga tao kung bakit dapat piliin ang isang produkto. Ganun. Kunwari, may tinda kang lip tint. So, syempre, hindi ang gusto ng mga teenagers like me, ng mga babae is yung organic na lip tint. So, dapat ilalagay mo yun dun sa packaging ng product mo. So, kumbaga, si packaging at si labeling is magkapatid, ganun. Lagi sila dapat magkasama para maging catchy yung product sa mata ng mga tao sa unang kita pa lang. So, sabi ko nga sa inyo is magkapatid si packaging at labeling. Dapat lagi silang magkasama. Kasi sila yung nagdi-differentiate from the other brands sa market. And yun yung nagiging way kung bakit nagiging catchy ang isang brand. At ano yun, para mapansin agad sila ng mga target consumers or customers ng isang product. So, number 3 is selling price. So, ang selling price po ay isang napakahalagang element din po siya sa communicating brand position. Dahil andun po yung image, yung value proposition sa mga customers or consumers na nakakaapekto po sa kanilang perception, decision, and loyalty. Syempre, kunwari, mahal yung pricing mo pero napaka-low quality ng product mo. Sinong bibili sa'yo, di ba? So, dapat yung price mo is nakadepende sa kung gaano yung quality ng product na meron ka. Syempre kung mataas yung price mo, dapat masigurado mo na mataas din yung quality ng product na binebenta mo. Hindi yung ang taas-taas na nga ng presyo mo tapos bulok naman yung product mo. So, walang bibili. Ganun po siya sa communicating brand position. The fourth element in communicating brand position is advertising. Ano nga ba advertising? So, ang advertising is magpo-promote ka ng isang product or yung kumbaga parang ibabalandra mo yung product mo. Like, sa mga billboards, sa mga TV ads, or Facebook ads. Basta lahat ng advertising. So, ang napapansin ko sa mga product na sumisikat ngayon is kumukuha sila ng mga influencers, mga social media influencers para i-promote yung product nila. So, ang gagawin is ipapatry yung product tapos magbibigay yung influencer ng good review tungkol dun sa product. And ang maganda dun is naititry ng isang influencer yung product and napapakita niya kung paano gamitin yung product na yan. So, yun ang advertising sa communicating brand position. The fifth element in communicating brand position is the product endorser or the brand endorser. So, kung kukuha ka ng isang brand endorser dun sa product mo, dapat i-make sure mo yung credibility nung tao na yun. Kunwari, mga artista na kapag nagpo-promote is tumataas talaga yung sale ng isang product. Kapag kukuha ka ng isang brand endorser, kailangan may connection yung endorser dun sa product mo. For example, ang product mo is kids product. Tapos, ang kukunin mo is senior citizen para mag-endorse sa product mo. Tama ba yun? Di ba? Di ba parang ang awkward naman? Pambata yung product, tapos ang mag-endorse is senior citizen. Kaya, kailangan kapag kukuha ng brand endorser is nakaakma sa kung anong product ang meron ka at dun sa target audience na gusto mo or na tina-target mo talaga. Ang last element ng communicating brand position is tagline. So, sa tagline naman po is napakadali lang niya. For example, is Biogesic. Ang tagline nila is ingat, or ang Mercury. Ang tagline nila is gamot ay laging bago. So, kumbaga, ang tagline is yun yung tatatak sa mga utak ng customers na pag narinig nila, ay gantong product to. Yun lang. Doon na po nagtatapos ang aking report.
Good day everyone, I'm Jolan Marpi Taji, and now I will be discussing about and identifying and selecting competitive advantages. First of all, ano nga ba yung competitive advantages? Here's its definition. Competitive advantages is defined as the superiority of an organization over its competitor. It typically answers the question, why should the customer purchase from this company instead of its competitor? It means, in a simple word, para siyang, yung competitive advantages, ibig sabihin niya lang is, anong meron sa product nyo, bakit mas binibili ito ng consumer or customer kaysa sa ibang brand or competitors nyo. Yan yung ibig sabihin ng competitive advantages. Competitive advantages has three major types. First one is cost advantage. Second one, differential advantage. And the third one is focus advantage. Mauna tayo sa cost advantage. The definition of cost advantage results when a firm has the ability to produce a product or service at a lower price than its competitors or generate a larger margin from its sales. It means mas pinipili ng customer or consumer ang product mo kasi mas mura ito kaysa sa ibang brand or competitors mo. That's why tinatangkilik nila at binabalikan nila yung brand mo kasi it lower the cost than your competitor. Gets? The second one is differential advantages. When a company's product or service differs from its competitors and are perceived by consumers to be better or of the greater value. Ibig sabihin lang ito, yung pagka-unique ng product nyo, nakakaiba siya and mas high yung quality niya kaysa sa competitors nyo. Kaya mas binibili ito at tinatangkilik ito ng customer at consumer ninyo. And the last one is focus advantage. When a company knows its target market very well and can service its needs better than any of its competitors. Ito naman, yung company nyo, alam yung fino-focus ng product nyo. Alam nyo kung sino yung ita-target nyo para mas palalo yung sales nyo. For example, yung binibenta nyo is candy. Like, factory na mga candies. Syempre, pipiliin yung mabuti kung sino yung mga target market nyo. Like, mga kids. Syempre, mahilig yung mga bata sa mga candy, di ba? Yun yung ibig sabihin ng focus advantage. Magfo-focus na kayo kung sino yung mas applicable dun sa product ninyo. That's all about identifying and selecting competitive advantages. That's all. Thank you for watching. Sana may natutunan kayo sa araw na ito. And don't forget, make your family proud. By Ma'am Sheila. Thank you.